Wydek welcoming you to Bel Shir Vestige for Game 3 of this Best of 5 series between teammates. Here in the bottom right, spawning as the Red Zerg, we've got Team Liquid's TLO. And unfortunately for him, he lost the last game, so the series is tied 1-1 to his teammate, spawning in the top left as the Blue Terran, Team Liquid's Taeja. And in the last game, both players went for a more macroeconomic style sort of game. Kind of both greedy sort of plays, as Taeja went for the high ground CC and TL went for hatchery first. And that worked out in Taeja's favor, as TL was not able to figure out that Taeja had a huge contingent of Marines heading over to his base. And once Taeja was able to pick off TLO's third hatchery, it all went downhill for TLO from that point. So, we'll have to find out if TL can bounce back. It looks like he might be going for maybe hatchery first again. I'm not sure. Taeja's not going to go for command center first. In fact, he's going for barracks and then refinery. So probably some early Reaper harass and scout. That's never a bad idea against Zergs. And the hatchery will go down for TLO, so he's going for a similar build, just like the previous game. And it's always difficult for players that have to play their teammates, because inside they want their teammates to do well, but when you're playing against each other, you want yourself to win, but that's always at the cost of your teammate. So I'd be interested to see what TL and Taeja think about this. And obviously, if you keep playing on a high level, eventually you're going to play each other. If you keep winning matches, you will eventually play each other. And this is I don't know if it's similar, but it's probably more intense between Vortex and Lucifron, because they both play for the same team, as the first Reaper is popping out and jumping over the cliff. Vortex and Lucifron play for the same team, and they are brothers. And so if you're playing well in the tournament and you're both in the tournament, then obviously you're going to play each other at some point. So that's probably even worse than playing teammates, because in that case, they're both. And this drone is going to have a lot of problems. The TL is going to be able to morph it into something. Yes, a spore crawler. But now this second drone, it's got to be able to turn into something. So our spore crawler and an extractor go up. So the Reaper escapes with no kills. Great micro by TLO. But he cancels the spore crawler, and now he's going to morph into another extractor. This Reaper has no kills. And because TLO does not have enough gas, he needs 100 gas to get speed, these Reapers are just going to keep poking. The Queens are much better than the Zerglings, but still, look at these Reapers. They're still zooming around the map like nobody can tell them what to do. One was almost picked off, but it's still 10 life, and now Reapers are going to regenerate if they hang back just a bit. And here's another thing to note. The Reapers keep going back in between the natural and the main, and TL is going to put down a creep tumor here, so I think that's a good choice by TLO. A lot of players do not expand the creep highway between their main and the natural. What ends up happening is that if there's a lot of Reapers or harass, then the Queens are constantly out of position because they're trying to go from the main to the natural and back and forth. So I think this is a good decision by TLO. Costs you 25 energy, one less inject larvae. And Taeja's going for a very similar build compared to last time, in regards that he's having his third command center up pretty early. It's the 6-minute mark and it's almost completed. And he's also getting a starport, and I believe he's going to be going for some Banshees. TL has put down his third hatchery. And he's also getting a Roach Warren this time. So if there is going to be some massive Marine attack, the Roaches will fare a lot better compared to the Zerglings. And Cloak is underway. But this time, the Overlord's able to scout everything. So this is a big move by TLO. He sees the tech lab. He sees the starport. He sees the 3rd command center. He's able to see the factory. And generally, a Marine would come in here to try to do some damage. But if you remember, at the beginning of the game, Taeja just went for 2 Reapers, and he actually doesn't have any Marines. So this very slow and fat Overlord is going to escape. I haven't seen that in a long time. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. This lone Marine's going to try and fire on the butt of this Overlord. But he's going to get away. But Taeja has 4 Hellions and 2 Reapers at TLO's 3rd. Able to take off a Creep Tumor. And the Spore Crawler is going to dig down deep at the 3rd, so Taeja was not able to do any significant damage there. My phone was ringing. It's a blocked number, so I'm not going to pick it up. But anyways, and all these reactors and tech labs are going to get attached to barracks pretty soon here, as Taeja's little harassment force has not grown in size, but it hasn't been dealt with either. And now with 2 Banshees amongst them, they're going to be able to clean up these creep tumors much quicker. But remember, in this composition of units, there still is no anti-air, so the Overlords can still spot them without any fear of retaliation. And TL has a Overlord pooping all this awesome creep, so Taeja's 3rd cannot land. So great scout by TLO before, and also great positioning of this Overlord to make it very annoying for Taeja. He's going to lose a lot of potential resources. Supplies are even. And nothing's happening yet, and these Banshees seem like a little bit of a waste because they weren't able to harass. And now they're just sitting there. Banshees are very expensive, and they don't even have cloak research. So Taeja is not going to use them for that purpose. And that's all because of one lone Overlord scout, so it's totally worth 100 resources. And on top of it, like I said, TL didn't even lose his Overlord. So for the low cost of nothing, he was able to deter the Banshee harass. Now supplies are even, and this orbital command has still not been able to land. Both players both getting 1-1. There's a small window where Taeja has a small upgrade advantage, but it's not substantive. And can you hear that sound? Can you hear all that creep spread? It is so loud because there's 3 Overlords doing their thing. The Banshees are just watching. Actually, there's 4 Overlords on the screen. I've never seen so many Overlords on one screen pooping on the ground. And Taeja says, heck with it, now I'm going to move out. Time to do some damage. Able to pick off that lone drone. But at the same time, TLO is sending Zerglings and Roaches. But we've got 2 tanks here protected by Marines. And Taeja might be able to do some damage here. There are Banelings, but they're all caught behind TLO's own Roaches. And the Medivacs are going to pick up and jet away. At the same time, Taeja is going to clean up this pack of Zerglings that are harassing his 3rd expansion. The tanks are down, but now the Roaches are going to flee. The Banshees are doing significant damage to the Roaches, but they're going to be able to scuttle away. This Marine Medivac contingent is not doing that well in the center of the map. The Roaches were able to pick off a few of the units, and now TLO is going to stroll in here, but he has to be careful. The Marines are stimmed, able to do significant damage. The Roaches are spitting their acid as much as they can, but the Marines have all surrounded the Roaches, and now TL is trying to flee, and that's very difficult. And now the supplies are in Taeja's favor just because of that one engagement. I'm not sure why TL went in there. I guess he thought that he would be able to do a lot better. But you have to remember that TL is not upgrading ranged attacks. So his roaches were actually 0-1 compared to Taeja's 1-1 bio. And that is a small advantage for Taeja. TL is going to try to get his 4th up here, but I don't think it's going to go down. Another scan's able to clean up these last 2 creep tumors on the left side of the map. TL is going to cancel. I think that was the right choice to make, rather than lose 350 resources. And these 2 Banshees are still around. They've gone unopposed, and this is one of the problems when you go for all ground units that do not hit air. TL has no Mutalisk to deal with Medivacs or Banshees. He'll have to rely on the Queens, and Taeja's going to pull back here. He's not going to go in for an offensive. TL is going to try and get his 4th up and running, but Taeja's about to land his, so once again, the economic advantage will be distinctly in Taeja's favor. TL is going to pull back. If he went to engage this 4th command center, he might have been able to do a lot of damage. These Marines are going to be able to pick off this hatchery. No cancel, so big resources lost. Great pickup by Taeja. Taeja's going to upgrade to the planetary fortress. And he's still harassing over the left side of the map. The Banelings are going to be able to finish off these Marines finally. But there's still 1 left there, and he's going to drop off again. Taeja is trying to engage on the right side of the map. The Marines have stimmed and doing significant damage to the Ultralisk. Ultralisks are walking in there, but they don't, or they do have the armor upgrade, so they can take a lot of hits, but they're still falling, and there's still 2 Banshees just focusing firing on all these ground units that can't fight back. They have a combined 16 kills, and the Marines are not going to just stroll in here like everything is theirs. 1 fungal goes down, but then Infestor and Ultralisk go bye-bye, and now TL has to GG. He was 50 supply down, and Taeja's able to take game 3. So interesting. TL won the first game, but Taeja's has been able to storm back for the next 2 games. So we'll have to see if Taeja's able to close it out in game 4.